Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's English lesson. In today's English lesson, we are going to look at fighting in English. Yes, that's right. So, even though you're learning English maybe for school or for work, you might have some disagreements, or you might want to talk about disagreements that other people are having, right? So, this is good for everyday life, everyday conversation. And I think it's really important to go over some of these words that might not be in your English textbooks. Okay. But first, before we get into today's lesson, if you could, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. You can hit that red subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. That way you'll know when I go live and when I post new lessons. You can also like me on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok now, so everything will be linked below. Okay, let's get into the lesson. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, okay? So here we have fighting in English. Fighting in English. Okay. So we're not going to look at, how to fight in English, but we're going to look at some vocabulary that has to do with fights. Okay. So let's take a look at the first one. Okay. Here we have quite a long expression, but let's go over it. This says, go off the deep end. Go off the deep end. Have you ever heard this expression before? Go off the deep end? I heard it a lot growing up from my mom and my dad. Okay, so if someone goes off the deep end, it means that they get very angry. They lose control. Okay, so for some reason, we use this expression, go off the deep end. So I always imagined it as a kind of swimming pool. So we have the shallow end where kids can play in the pool, and we have the deep end where you have to dive off the diving board. You can go very deep. So when someone goes off the deep end, it's like they lose control. They're very, very angry. For some reason, we use this expression. Let's take a look at some examples, okay? I don't know what you said to him, but he's about to go off the deep end. So I don't know what you said to him, but he's about to lose control. He's about to get very, very angry, okay? He's about to go off the deep end. Let's take a look at the next one. My mom's going to go off the deep end if she finds out what I did. My mom's going to go off the deep end. I remember saying this a lot when I was younger. When your parents want you to come home at a certain time, or they want you to finish your homework before you see your friends. If my mom finds out I didn't do my homework, my mom's going to go off the deep end. Okay, she's going to get very, very angry. Okay, I hope you can remember, go off the deep end. We're going to come back to it. Okay, we're going to have a little quiz at the end, so stick around. The next one, very, very short. This is easy, right? This is tiff. Tiff. So a tiff is a petty quarrel between friends or lovers. So when something is petty, petty means not very serious. It's not really a big fight. By the way, quarrel means fight, to quarrel with someone, but we don't often use this word, but you can use it. So a petty quarrel between friends or lovers. So a tiff is like maybe your friend said they didn't like your outfit. They didn't like your outfit for the day. That would be a petty quarrel. It doesn't really mean anything. You can probably get over it pretty quickly. Okay, so let's take a look. She just had a tiff with her new boyfriend. So she just had a fight, a small, insignificant fight, okay, with her new boyfriend. All right? They'll make up soon. It was just a tiff. They'll make up soon. It was just a tiff. So just a tiff means it was so small, it wasn't even worth fighting about. Okay? And if you know to make up is to get your relationship back together after you've had a fight. Like, I'm sorry, apologize, get back to your relationship or friendship. Okay? The next one is very similar to tiff. This is the word spat. Spat. So you can see the definition. A petty quarrel between friends or lovers, tiff. A petty quarrel between friends or lovers, spat. But there is one difference that I'd like to point out, and that is in the example sentence. They just had a lover's spat. So oftentimes you'll hear spat with lovers, a lover's spat. That means that specifically for like boyfriends, girlfriends, or like husband, wives, when couples fight, right? When couples fight, we call it a lover's spat. So not a very serious fight, but they had a little bit of an argument, a little bit of a disagreement. We would say they had a lover's spat, okay? The next one, the kids had a silly spat over who could eat the fastest. So that's very silly, right? Who can eat the fastest? And their little kids are fighting over who can eat the fastest. That would be a silly spat, or we could say a silly tiff, okay? But remember, lovers spat. We usually use spat with lovers, okay? Next one, wits end. Wits end. Okay, so the definition of your wits end is to be very worried, confused, or annoyed that you don't know what to do next. So you're very worried, you're very confused, or you're very annoyed and you don't know what you should do. Okay? You're at your wits end. Okay? So here are some examples. He never listens to a word I say. I'm at my wits end. Okay? So notice we use at. We're always going to use at with wits end. I'm at my wits end. She's at her wits end. They're at their wits end. Okay? So it means, we have another expression that I didn't write down, but we can also say you're at the end of your rope. So maybe you have patience, you have this much patience, okay? But when something happens that either worries you, confuses you, annoys you, your patience is getting smaller and smaller, and soon you are at the end of your patience. So we can think of it in the same way. You're at your wit's end. You're at your rope's end. Okay, you're at the end of your rope. So that means you are really not knowing what to do next. You don't know what to do. You're very worried, confused. Okay, so let's take a look at these examples. The second example, I'm at my wit's end with her. She's always lying to me. So I'm so worried or I'm so annoyed that she's lying to me. I don't know what to do next. I'm at my wit's end with her. Okay, very good. Next one is fairly new compared to the others. This is squash the beef. Squash the beef. So this is a kind of slang expression that's become popular in the last, I would say, 10 years or so. So if you squash the beef, that means to end an argument or bad feelings by apologizing or by other means. So in some way you apologize and you end the fight, you end the argument. To squash the beef also means to settle a matter. Okay, so maybe you have some disagreements, but you're able to apologize and move on from that. Okay, so let's take a look at the two examples. You two used to be so close. I think it's time for you to squash the beef. Okay, you guys used to be best friends. Stop fighting. It's time for you to squash the beef. It's time for you to end your argument. Okay? The next one, I hope they'll be able to squash the beef someday. I hope they'll be able to squash the beef someday. Okay? So I hope they'll be able to make up someday. They'll end their argument. Very good. Squash the beef. Okay, so we have some questions here. We're going to use go off the deep end, tiff, spat, wits end, and squash the beef. Okay, so we're going to use each one only once. Okay, and we're going to fill in the blanks here. So I hope you remember the meanings and when to use each of these. All right, there are 5 questions. Let's try question number 1 together. Number 1, I don't know what to do about her. I don't know what to do about her. I'm at my something. Okay, I'm at my something. Write your answers in the comments. Let's see who can get number 1 right. Big hint is I'm at my something. At my something. Okay, the answer to number 1 is wits end. I don't know what to do about her. I'm at my wits end. I have no more patience. I don't know what to do next. I'm so worried. I'm so concerned. I'm so annoyed. Okay? Number 2. If my parents find out what I did, they'll... If my parents find out what I did, they'll... What do you think? They'll squash the beef, they'll tiff, they'll spat, they'll go off the deep end. We already used wits end. Okay, so which one do you think is correct? Leave your answer in the comments. Okay, I hope you wrote it down. Let's see who could get it right. The correct answer is go off the deep end. How many of you got that one right? Was that easy? Very good. Okay, if my parents find out what I did, they'll go off the deep end. So they'll get so angry they will lose control. Okay? Number 3, I know I was wrong. Can we... So a hint for this one, it would be, can we stop arguing? Can we stop fighting? Write your answer down. The answer to number 3 is, can we squash the beef? Very good. Can we squash the beef? Can we stop fighting, please? All right, two more. Number 4, he's having a lovers with his wife. He's having a lovers with his wife. So big hint here is lovers. Lovers. Okay? Which word goes with lovers? Do you remember? Write your answer down. Okay, the answer to number 4 is spat. He's having a lover's spat with his wife. So they're having a small argument, probably not a serious fight. Maybe they fought over what's for dinner. Okay? Very good. Last one. Number 5. The 2 sisters had a little over who would wear the dress. The two sisters had a little over who would wear the dress. Okay, there's only one left, so let's see the answer. The two sisters had a little tiff over who would wear the dress. So they had a small argument. Remember, tiff and spat are pretty much the same thing, but usually we say lovers spat, not lovers tiff. Okay? Very good. All right. Okay, so how many did you get correct? Did you get 5 out of 5 correct? Let me know in the comments. And do you think you will use these words in everyday conversation? Are these useful for you? Is there anything else you would like to know how to say about fighting or arguing with people? Let me know if there are any other lessons that you would like to see or you would like for me to make. I will try to make them as soon as I can. But thank you guys so much for watching today's lesson. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me here on YouTube or Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. I'm on everything, so you can find me. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.